Native trees on grazing land helps local graziers improve their productivity and land condition. Maintaining 30 to 40% canopy cover increases the landscape's ability to support water and nutrient cycling, stabilises soils and increases biodiversity. As trees grow towards maturity, the landscape around them slowly improve, increasing landscape and enterprise resilience. This means grass will persevere longer, cattle will be less affected by heat stress, and soil will retain water for longer. All of these result in improved productivity, more kilos on cattle, and increased profits. FBA is committed to helping Central Queensland land managers establish and maintain native trees on their grazing enterprise.
It sounds funny, but the more grass you have, the more grass you grow. The slower the water is, the better the water infiltration, the better the nutrient cycle, the better all that stuff spins over on itself and self-mulches and all the rest of it, and then the more grass we grow. A lot of our water runoff is very low and very slow, which is what you want to help with your topsoil retention. 2016 we had 80 odd mils of rain through July. All the water ran clear. So this is even after the cattle have been in through that paddock. They had churned it up, they had turned it into like a cultivation paddock, you could say. The hoof prints were pushing grass in and all the rest of it, but the water that was still running off those paddocks was clear.
By improving microbiome in the soil, it helps retain water infiltration and soil health. Animal welfare also benefits from having trees in a grazing system.
When you become heat stressed, when your body temperature goes above 39 degrees centigrade, the first thing that goes is your appetite. You do not feel like eating. And that's the same for cattle. And so they become heat stressed out in these paddocks without trees, and then their intake is reduced. Their intake is reduced, and that means less money and less return from the system.
I'm content on a hot day to sit under a shade. I'm content when it's cold outside to be in the sun. It comes back to having the choice. To a degree, it's the same thing for the cattle. Like, you know, it just helps level, balance and temperatures out for animals to become more comfortable and be more content. And if you have a content animal, if they're relaxed within their head, if their mob psychology is right, they're going to eat more grass, and when they eat more grass, they're going to put more weight on. So at the end of the day, you've got a higher production when you sell them to market.
Trees and grazing can coexist quite well. There's no reason to exclude cattle in the long term. In the first 12 months, it's important to reduce the grazing pressure or take the grazing out entirely, just to allow the trees to establish their root systems in particular and get a bit of height on them. Light grazing initially, but just regular grazing can be quite beneficial in suppressing fire risk, which is probably the main concern in the longer term re-establishment of the trees.
I'd like to be able to share that knowledge, and I'd love to be able to duplicate this. Now that we've learnt and made our mistakes, we can do it a bit faster next time, knowing what we know now. We've looked at the food content of the animal's stomach and the fact that they are actually eating those trees. There's a dual benefit in having the trees there. They've got the shade component, as well as giving them the nutrition that they get when they snack on them.
At FBA, you can learn about tree-grass balance, how to establish and maintain native trees on grazing land.